Hello, 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 and welcome to hopefully another edutaining episode of Create Simple Meals. I'm thinking I may have finally got this comment thing to work right, but we don't know. We'll see throughout the show. If not, Anna sit here and read some of the comments to me as they come on in. While you sitting here, folks, and we getting ready to get set up, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube and hit that notification bell so that you know we're on. Please like and follow us on Facebook. Please follow us on Instagram and tap into us on TikTok. For all our old videos and recipes, you can visit createsimplemeals.com. You can also email me at askme@createsimplemeals.com. And if you're on there, you can hit that chat button and you can it'll notify me immediately. And please, if you're out there, please share this video and all the others with your friends and family and loved ones. Okay, so today we are doing home. I know it's a big transition. We went from making lobster last week to Hamburger Helper this week. But Hamburger Helper is one of them things that, you know, even as adults, some of us like to have it. So we're going to do a homemade version of Hamburger Helper. I've been trying to figure out a different name to call it because I think I'm going to get sued, keep using Hamburger Helper. I'm quite sure it's a trademark name, but please, whoever it is, don't sue me just yet. But the recipe, real simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to brown off some ground beef while we're heating this pan up. Then we're going to top in some yellow onions, and then we're going to season that with some paprika, some parsley, garlic powder. Cayenne pepper is optional. Kosher salt, black pepper. Once that get all marinated together, we're going to pour in a little bit of heavy cream and some broth, and we're going to put the noodles in while they're dry. Let that come to a boil, simmer that, cook it, and then we're going to be good to go. As always, folks, this show is brought to you by the Self-Employed Tax Guide, the first ever tax company prepared for you and me. Self-Lodge Planning, so for all your current and future travel needs, please hit up Self-Lodge Planning. For all your unique gift IDs, please hit up For You By Me for creative designs. And for all your catchy t-shirts, come to Petty Phrase. If you got something to say, please say it with your chest. All right, so let's go ahead first and foremost get this ground beef seasoned off. I know it's an unconventional method, but I was reading somewhere about this. Put the whole block in there flat, let it come to a crust. As that's building up a crust, you're going to flip that over, let that come to a crust, and then you're going to break it up. The time that I've done it that way was absolutely a little bit better than the way I've used to do it, which was we all just break it on up in there. While we're doing, let me grab me a beer and a glass while we waiting. Did I leave my glass? I probably did. Give me 1 second. Let me grab me a glass, folks, while y'all coming on in. Do me a favor, type a comment, see if they pop up on there. As they say, the best laid plans of mice and men. Get everything set up, and inevitably, checklist or not, we always forget something, even if it's my glass that I need to drink out of. Want to drink out of. All right, let's go and see how that's doing. Let that keep on browning. Again, if you are just now tuning in today, we are doing a homemade version of Hamburger Helper. We're browning off some ground beef. We're going to put in some yellow onions, put some dry seasons in there, mix it all together. Then we're going to go ahead and mix in some beef broth and some heavy cream. Now, far as the cheese is concerned, get creative with this. Now, I'm going to use sharp cheddar today, but I was thinking you could use pepper jack. You can use provolone if you want something a little bit milder. You could probably use some of them artisanal cheeses like the habanero jacks or whatnot. Do something different to elevate your Hamburger Helper so it don't be like the old Hamburger Helper you had, you know, when you was a kid. Although I like that Hamburger Helper. Let's see, view this cue. All right, let's go ahead and give this a flip. And you can see what I was talking about there, folks, that brown inside. The other thing it does is going to give it more even cook because it's like cooking a steak almost, even though it's a block of hamburger. And then once that gets that browning on the other side, we're going to start breaking that up. Let me see. While I'm doing that, just yeah, it should be on 192.168.5. Had to make sure the URL didn't change. They, whatever reason, it does it every now and again. Let me turn this up a little bit because it's, oh yeah, it's getting there. Now, some people might wonder why I didn't season the meat now when I'm breaking it up. I like to make sure all the seasons are blended together so it really incorporates in the meat. Hey, my sister just tapped in. Hey, Gina. I'm going to try to do double duty. For whatever reason, I get my YouTube comments, as y'all keep hearing me saying over and over again, but I don't get my Facebook comments on my system. So I got to use my phone. And actually, Gina, this is something Taya would probably like. Oh, and before somebody asks, yes, you can absolutely use other types of ground beef meat. So you can use a ground chicken, a ground turkey. You can use a ground lamb and make it a lamb helper. For those of you that's kind of health conscious and staying away from beef, I'm obviously not all that health conscious. So I'm going to go and do my beef here. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and start breaking this up some and finish cooking that off. Hey, Tasana, what's going on with you? Appreciate you for tuning in. And y'all, please share this video with your friends and family, your loved ones, and your not so loved ones. If they're on your Facebook and YouTube stream, go and share it with them. I'd be much appreciated. Again, if you are just now tuning in, please hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube and that notification bell. Please hit that like and share button on Facebook and follow us. Follow us on Instagram and tap into us on TikTok. For all our previous videos and recipes, please visit createsimplemeals.com. You can also email me for your comments, criticisms, suggestions at askme@createsimplemeals.com. And if you're in the kitchen and you're trying to do one of them recipes and you need a quick answer, go and hit that chat feature on my website and it will notify me immediately and I'll get back to you usually within 20 minutes or so. All right, so this is starting to brown off just right. Now I'm gonna show y'all something I'm about to do because some versions of these homemade recipes, they'll have you dump the pan and put your onions in and do all that and then put the meat back in there. We're going to make this a one-pot meal for real. So we're going to do it all right in the same pan. I'm just going to drain some of this off. Now, if you want to minimize the oil content, I'm using 80-20 ground beef. If you want to minimize, you can get something leaner like a 85-15 or even a 90-10 if you can find that. You can find it in specialty grocery stores. But those are super, super lean, and this ain't no health meal, so that leanness is going to cut into your flavor. But for those of you that's trying to cut out the fat, let me talk about just a little bit of this. That is something you can do. Now, by the way, oftentimes when we consider fat in these meals, it ain't all fat. Some of that is just the water rendering out of the meat as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put these onions right on the side of that and just start to warm them up so they can start cooking down. Now, while we're doing that, let me move this out of my way. Let's make up our seasoning blend. And I'm going to use the same bowl, so minimize my dirtiness. Actually, let me dry it out, though, so it don't stick as much. As much as I would love to be, we don't studio cook over here. This is how we cook it. All right, you're going to put a tablespoon of paprika, a little bit of parsley. You all can use Italian seasoning, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt, and I got double one in there, and a little bit of black pepper. And that's basically our seasoning blend, and we're going to use that to season this up once these onions done soften up a little bit. Now, if you like that crunchy texture in your onions, then by all means, you ain't got to break them down that much. But I kind of want to cook these down just a little bit. Another trick you can do to minimize on one, to not dry your meat out. If you notice, I put the meat to the side right when it was basically 90% done. That way I can use this same pan and saute these onions on the side without having to dirty up another dish. Because here at Create Simple Meals, we don't like washing dishes. And although we do have a dishwasher, I don't put my pans in a dishwasher. All right, let's go and finish them off. Again, if you're just now tuning in, a recap of the recipe, we are doing a homemade hamburger helper. So we're browning off some ground beef, and now we're sauteing off some onions, about a half a cup or so. We're going to season that once these onions are done. We're going to mix it all together. We're going to season it with some paprika, dried parsley, some garlic powder, a little bit of kosher salt, black pepper, and then we're going to pour in our liquids so that we can start cooking our pasta. Now for the cayenne, I didn't put it in because I know part of my family don't like hot foods. But by all means, put you a little bit of cayenne in there and kick it up a notch if you like that little spicy kick. Side note, ain't got nothing to do with Create Simple Meals with beer barons. So I've been making beer this last weekend. I said I actually might do a video clip on this show one day of the beer making process for any of you that might be interested. But I'm proud of it. So I am making a salted caramel chocolate stout beer. People ask, like, you put chocolate in beer? Man, I'm going to tell you, with the beer making process, much like with food, it ain't too many rules you have to follow. You can break a lot of them. All right, folks, and then we now got that browned up. Let's go ahead and mix these onions together in there. Scrape up all them juicy bits on the bottom. And then we're going to go ahead and season it with the onions, the paprika, the garlic, the black pepper, and just mix that all in there. And once we get that all done, and incorporate it through, we're going to go ahead and add in 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. And then to that, we're going to add in a half a cup, actually we put in about a cup and a half of beef broth. Set that off to my side for right now. We're going to put in a cup and a half of this beef broth. And to give it that cool, velvety, creamy texture, we're going to add in a half a cup of heavy cream. Now, if you don't want to use the heavy cream because you might be lactose intolerant, what you can also do is, then you'd have to do a two-pot thing. Brown the ground beef, take out most of the oil, but about 2 tablespoons. Into that, you would add in 2 tablespoons of flour, and that will thicken it up. But we just going to use this heavy cream because I was going for the one pot. Now let's add in the dry pasta noodles and just mix them up in there as best as possible. And now we're going to bring this to a boil. After we bring that to a boil, we're going to simmer it off, and then we'll pretty much be done. Now you want to make sure them noodles, get down in there. So that was only about 2 cups of dry pasta noodles. You can use, I'm using shells. You can use shells, you can use elbows, you can use the swirls. You can use any small pasta you want. Just make sure you get it in there, and to give you an idea, 2 cups is about a half of a 1-pound box of shells. Let me go and bring this back up. Go and get you a boil. Hey, Sister Bear, how's everything going with you? Appreciate your support. Please share this video while you're out there waiting for the meal to finish up. Again, for the recipe, show you real quick. We got some ground beef, some yellow diced onion that we browned it off, or sorry, cooked off. Season it up with some paprika, some parsley, some garlic powder, a little bit of kosher salt and black pepper. To that, we added in some heavy cream and some beef broth and a little bit of tomato paste. Bringing this to a boil, we have our noodles in here. Once this gets to a vigorous boil, we're going to actually cover it and let it simmer for a few minutes. Now, while it's simmering, you are going to have to periodically stir so that these noodles don't stick. And as always, folks, this show is brought to you by the Self-Employed Tax Guy. First ever tax company that built up from the ground for me and you. Self-Lodge Planning, the world is opening back up. So for all your travel needs, please hit up Self-Lodge Planning. For your unique gift ideas, please hit up For You by Me Creative Designs. And for your nifty t-shirts, hit up Petty Phrase. If you got something to say it with your chest. It was something I was about to say. Oh, Charles, I'm making homemade I'm making homemade Hamburger Helper, but for you can actually use turkey, as I said earlier, some turkey, or you can use ground chicken or lamb or any other ground meat. So you can actually probably even make it a vegetarian meal and put some tofu in it. I'm actually gathering. That might be a unique thing to try for one of y'all out there. I can promise you I won't be trying it because I don't know how to cook with tofu. Now we got that to a boil. Let's bring that down to a simmer and let's cover this, and then we're going to periodically go and stir that. So it's going to take about 5-10 minutes or so. So in the meantime, what does it say? Oh, tell her come on. Not this weekend, not next weekend, but tell her come on down here. She can come to her uncle's house anytime she wants to, because she actually likes to help me cook. Oh, the switcher. Okay, so I'm using, it's called a Stream Deck switch. I'm assuming you're talking about how I switch the video feeds. So I'm using a Stream Deck, which is a device that does a lot of switching from different feeds. I have the 15 input. They have a 6, a 15, I think a 31. But it's what it controls my mics, my cameras, and the different feeds that I'm putting in there. But a Stream Deck, you Google it. They're actually pretty good. I also, for my system, I'm giving out some free damn advertising right here, but oh well. For the system, I actually use vMix to record out of. I was using, some of the other ones I was using was Manicam, but vMix, it costs, but it's been kind of easier. OBS is a free version, but you got to be real tech savvy if you want to use OBS. Well, I'm probably sure you don't tune up for the meals because I think you cook probably more than I do, Will. I'll follow your page and see you posting your creations. All right. As again, folks, don't forget to periodically stir because you don't want these noodles to stick. Side note, when it comes to boiling pasta, and I've done this before, I don't do it often. Especially with that comedian always talking about folks messing up macaroni and cheese. I have actually, when I'm doing not doing eggs to make my macaroni and cheese, when I'm actually making a roux, I've actually boiled my noodles in cream, took the noodles out, and then used that starch in there to thicken up my macaroni and cheese. So it's not an unheard of way of doing your noodles, doing it in milk. So on a day that y'all not really trying to have a bunch of folks over, go and try playing with your macaroni or your pasta and boiling it in different liquids. You might end up pleasantly surprised. Now, don't go testing stuff on Thanksgiving and Easter and the big holiday because that just makes folks mad. Put this cream away while we waiting. Oh, so my beer, it depends on the style and what I'm doing. So what I'm doing now, this chocolate stout, the day of, it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, depending on how big of a grain bill I'm doing. Then with the fermentation, It's already did 1 week in the primary. It's in the secondary right now, which is cleaning up. I can let it sit there for another 2 weeks or so. So minimum time for beer, it takes 10 days, start to finish, not including carbonation. But if you're doing a heavy beer or beer like this one, I didn't make this one, but a beer like this one, which is almost 10%, yeah, you're probably looking at closer to 3 weeks to a month for something like that. The one I'm doing now was supposed to be 10%, but I think I'm going to get closer to 8% on this one. I hate when I miss my target. Thanks, Sister Bear. Yeah. Yeah, on this show, you're going to get some of everything. You're going to learn about some technology. You're going to learn about some beer making. You might learn about the Kardashians. The one thing you won't really learn about on here is politics. I said I ain't going to do too much political ranting on here. Other than tell y'all when it's time for local and federal elections, get out there and vote. I don't care what party you vote for. Just vote. Hey, man, look. Please do. I'm actually, was it last year when I started this venture, a year and a half ago? I actually put out the call to a few art, like, hey, somebody want to collaborate? We can do it together. I have no problem with it. Now, if you don't want to be on the show, that's something else. We can still get together and cook. But please, especially now, look, I'm just going to be 100% honest because I don't know how far this video goes, and Lord willing to be worldwide. I'm talking about people that personally know me. Please hit me up. If you wanted to collab and come on the show, we cook together, by all means, let's do it. I have no problem. Actually, I got a few chef friends. We've been talking about doing it. One of them, he cooks, he cooks regular food, but he also does cannabis-infused food. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't really the platform for Create Simple Meals. But I would definitely collaborate with my friends and close ones to do some cooking. It's funny, you know, when you're in the kitchen with people that don't cook, it can be absolute mayhem. When you're in the kitchen with people that's done this for a while, have a passion for it, it's amazing how it works. I was in the kitchen with Chef KT. He's a trained chef, cordon bleu, the whole nine. I'm finna give his whole resume. But just intuitively, I kind of synced into the way he was cooking without bumping into him and messing up everything. But then I cook with somebody that don't have no interest in cooking at all, and stuff go everywhere. It's not the training so much, because from what I hear, culinary school absolutely don't teach you how to cook. They teach you processes. It's the, as I always say, my tagline, it's the passion, the patience, and the practice. The cooking part gets cumbersome for a lot of folks because you look at it like a chore. I look at it like a hobby, something I love doing. I love sitting here and creating different ideas. I love people to eat my food. So if you look at it in that aspect, even when you're cooking for your family after work, it won't be such a big deal. Go ahead and mix this up. You know what? Let me see how that. All right, these got about 2-3 more minutes. I don't know if y'all can tell the difference, but I'm going to zoom in. These pasta shells. Now, I'm going to be honest. For me, because I like that al dente kind of chewiness to them, that would be fine. But I don't think my family going to appreciate that. So we're going to let this go for a couple of more minutes before we get on with the get on. We're going to mix that cheese. After we're done with this, we're going to just mix this cheese in here and go from there again with the cheeses. Please play with it. Don't have to necessarily use cheddar. That's what's on the recipe, but you don't have to necessarily use cheddar. Try different cheeses. And another thing you can do, if you don't want to do the tomato base because you figure the cheese you use may not pair well with that, try doing a more cream base. You can either get a jarred Alfredo sauce or just use additional cream in here. So we used a half a cup of heavy cream and 8 ounces of tomato sauce. You could theoretically probably increase that cream up to 3/4 cups and then season it with some extra garlic or herbs and then make you a more LeBlanc version of a Hamburger Helper. Kind of elevate your plate a little bit. At the end of the day, when it comes to this, it ain't nothing but spaghetti, just like pasta Alfredo ain't nothing but spaghetti with a white sauce on it. So get fancy with it, play with it, see what you can come up with. And if you do, please, please, please send me a picture, email me the recipe. I would love to try it myself. And if I like it, do it right here, get on the show for you. While you're sitting there waiting, folks, please, again, hit that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit that notification bell so you know when we're popping on. Please hit that like and share button and follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and tap into us on TikTok. For all our previous shows and recipes, including this one, please visit createsimplesmeals.com. If you have any questions, comments, criticism, please email me at askme@createsimplesmeals.com. And if you just got a burning desire because you want to talk to the fat dude that be on every Tuesday, hit that chat button and I'll be right there to talk to you. Let me see what this is looking like. We almost getting there, folks. The one thing I noticed, and I'm going to tell you, I watch a lot of online celebrities, you know, celebrity chefs or YouTubers or whatnot, just to one, get ideas, and two, to see format. And the one thing I've noticed, it is, as much as I talk, for those who know me personally, it is very hard. That's why I really love when y'all do tune in and y'all do comment and ask questions, because it's very hard to fill up these 30 to 45 minutes I'm doing every week. So I definitely appreciate every last one of you that tune in on Tuesdays and spend a little time with your boy. It is not unnoticed and is very much appreciated. All right, can you do me a favor and grab me a fork? Actually, grab me two. And that pasta spoon too. And that pasta spoon too. You know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I sit here and I be setting things up, and I get off work and I got everything set up in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I got my little checklist, and inevitably, y'all done watched the show enough, some of y'all, inevitably, I forget something every time. Even with checklists and boards everywhere, I'm still gonna forget. So hopefully that just gives a nod to my authenticity, or maybe just gives a nod to my absent brainness, but who knows. Let me go ahead and start incorporating this cheese in there. As soon as she bring back me a tasting spoon or fork, I want to make sure I ain't got to adjust this seasoning none. I don't think I do. Now, another thing, you don't have to add the cheese. Yeah, you don't have to add the cheese if you don't want to. Again, that lactose intolerant thing might be something for you, or something that works against you. I know when I was a kid, my Hamburger Helper didn't have all the extra cheese in it. Oh yeah, we right. All right, so let's go ahead and add this cheese in there. So it's 2 cups of cheese, so that's about one of them small 8-ounce blocks. Ain't no about, it's one of them 8-ounce blocks. It's really 6 ounces. Well, I was grating it by hand, which I never do, but I'm trying to be considerate. And I'm like, if I bring out that Cuisinart to grate some cheese, that's just stupid. So I grated it by hand, and after I grated it, I'm like, wait a minute. This is 2 cups is 6 ounces. I might as well grate the whole block. So I'm putting more cheese in mine than what it calls for. Why? Because cheese is cheese and it's good. And fat men ain't got to make no excuses. Y'all know why we fat. And I just didn't feel like saving no 2 ounces of cheese. Just hit me. You know what else you could add to this dish? Just being creative? Mushrooms and or bacon. Or both. I just thought about that. Hot dog, I'm going to add that. I might put that in the footnotes on the website. All right, folks, we're going to get that cheese, go melt it up in there. Actually, I'm going to turn this off because that heat, the residual heat, is all we need right there. Let me give y'all a zoom in. Hey, Wilden, the one thing I do be needing to figure out is, on this technical side, is color saturation. Because, man, what I see here and then what I see on my monitors, it ain't the same color. I'm like, oh, well. But food photography is an art in itself. All right, so now that we got that all mixed in and we are good to go, put that there. Let's go ahead and give us a plating. Put this in a bowl. I'm gonna stop using all these bougie terms sometimes. We're going to put this in a bowl and give it the official Create Simple Meals taste test. I be forgetting my mic can catch me up eating. That's why I need a sound guy. I personally like it more than Hamburger Helper. Probably because I'm an adult now, and what I liked as a 5-year-old and what I like as a 46-year-old. But I like it. Very balanced. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If and when I make this again, I will not use sharp cheddar. The sharp cheddar is fighting with the tomato base just a little bit too much for me. Some folks may like it. I'm not a big fan. I don't hate it, but I'm not a big fan of that sharp cheddar. If and when I do this again, I would either use a medium cheddar or I would switch it to maybe a provolone or something a little bit more mild if I needed cheese. But to be honest, when I tasted it before putting the cheese in there, it was fine by that for me as well. But as we say on this show all the time, that when it comes to cooking, you only have 3 P's. You must have passion, you must have patience, and you must be willing to practice. So please go ahead and try this recipe, try it out, practice with it, try your different flips on it, and let me know. Until next time, folks, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know that when we're on. Please follow, share, and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and tap into us on TikTok. For all our previous shows, including this one, please visit CreateSimpleMeals.com. If you have any questions, comments, criticism, please email me at askme@CreateSimpleMeals.com. Got a burn desire to talk to me, hit that chat button, and I'll be right there to talk back at you. Please share all these with your friends and family, and we will see you right here next week, next Tuesday around the 7 o'clock hour, with hopefully the edutaining episode of Create Simple Meals. Until then, folks, love each and every one of y'all. Keep creating and see you soon.